I'm gonna set up my screen. Hi everyone. Can somebody speak so that I can make sure that my audio is working?
Yes, we got 1, 2.
Yes.
No, we cannot speak at all. We're all muted today.
It's impossible. We just don't have anything to say. Hold on. Okay, cool. So the first thing on the agenda, we can just get into it because we were talking about this previously and it's still pretty fresh. The number of payment, there's like a number of payment tools that we can use to do recurring payments for the maintainer retainer program, and hopefully everything else as well. So we had previously discussed that Andamio might be the tool of choice based off of the criteria that we were communicating with Intersect, if my understanding was correct about those communications. So there were additional tools that we discussed, including the one that Jonathan Kelly found. That's like, let me actually try to find this. It was mass payment. Yeah, Cardano mass payments. I'm going to send the link in chat. Yeah, hi, Alex.
Hello. Just to quickly, I joined this call today to let you guys know that as developer advocate, in the end of Q1, I didn't quit, as Terence asked of me. And he promised, or I mean, promised, but told me that they will find a way to compensate us for the work. And I'm still here, but now it's Q3, and I still haven't been compensated. And my rent is coming next week, and I don't know what to do.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Tex. Sorry, I'm not aware of this.
I'm going to apologize for any interruption. That was an inappropriate topic for the committee meeting. I would suggest that we continue on with our regularly scheduled business. That's an independent issue where different advisements were made ahead of time.
I see. All right. If you could let me know what that was about afterwards, I think that would be. Sorry, Georg?
I can return to the topic of Andamio. I can share my point of view after having a meeting last week with James from Andamio. So the platform that I saw is centered around giving people credentials. It's a credentialing platform. And so there are two parts to this. One is where they have courses, and the course completion itself is tracked on chain as a credential that can be verified. And then those can be used as prerequisites for tasks. So in the way that we would do this in the maintainer retainer program is for the maintainers, they have certain I think we set quarterly or monthly payments. And so one task is, were they active in the community during this period of time? And they can create a report that can be all on the platform, transparent to review. It's verifiable on the chain with a hash that is stored there. And then we can go and approve that, yes, this task was complete, this month they were active, whatever our criteria are. And then the platform automatically processes the payment. So it solves the issue we have with Intersect right now, where they don't want a lot of small, tiny contracts. And the platform will take care of that. And then it also solves the problem of how do we manage this program in a transparent way so that anyone in the community can see what the activity is, the transparency of the payments, the reporting by the maintainers on the maintainer retainer program. So that's the maintainer retainer program. And then I was talking with Tex that maybe we could use this also for other programs, because this structure of putting a task out that could be the same for a bug bounty, that a bug bounty is a task that then gets verified and paid through the platform, or we can use it for other things as well. So I think as a platform, it has potential. At least the underlying financial model we can use, and there may be some user interface tweaks that we need to budget to build our own version of it in a way. At least that's a possibility. I think the base platform they already have would suffice as a pilot. So I'll stop here. That's my impression.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'll let Jonathan Kelly go, but after that, I would like to ask Haroon about the thing like he sent, if that's related to this. I'd assume so, but if he knows about it in particular, because I haven't heard about Ada Dev. Sorry, go on, Jonathan Kelly.
Yeah, my previous statements against using something like Andamio was, it sounded to me like the only issue that was being addressed was the need to send one-to-many payments. This was an impression I got based on a copy-paste of a comment that was made by Intersect staffers about the complexity of doing that. So I had possibly a misunderstanding of the overall issue, and if Andamio can be leveraged to do things like tracking of milestones, making sure events are met, and it has more value than just being a one-to-many payment system, then yeah, I'm not going to be against using something that makes administrative tasks easier to manage or better to track. So I just want to say that if it's more than just someone being overwhelmed by the complexity of how to do one-to-many transactions, and there's more administrative functions that can be leveraged from something like Andamio, I'm not going to be as against it as I was in the past.
Yeah, I just wanted to like say that like I was in a pretty similar like bucket. Yeah, I was in a pretty similar situation where at first I didn't really understand, like especially like what we had been like talking with like Intersect administration like about with respect to the tool, but especially after what Georg was talking about with that, it sounds very, very promising for it. And I think we could get more leverage out of it than just like Cardano mass payments to, you know, take in like a CSV or whatever. I did want to ask, and I guess we'll cover the, I guess I'll ask the thing about like Andamio first, and then move on to the thing that Haroon mentioned. One thing that I was wondering about is like how much Georg like touched on this, but like how much customization would we realistically need in order to get this like working for our purposes, and you know, more importantly, like how much would this like cost? And I suppose that's something that like I guess we need like a quote for. Does anybody feel one strong way or the other about like requesting like that information? Yeah, Jonathan Kelly.
I feel like has been done is we've been working on essentially hearsay of understandings of what is needed or what is being scoped for, right? So I think a useful thing to do would be to have someone who represents the Intersect staff that are having these complications to come and present what their problem is and why they think Andamio fits that problem, because then we can make an informed choice rather than basing it on, our impressions from a single quote.
Mm. Yes, I think that is probably. Oh, also hold on, because I just remembered that I had these laying around. Can somebody say something?
Testing.
Check.
Hold on, my thing is messed up. I'll
Your
take 1 second on
headphones
this.
are not working. You cannot hear us. You do not hear us.
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Yeah. So yes, I do think that we should probably get like the actual like Intersect like staff in like a. I think that's a very good idea. Like on getting like Intersect staff like in a room together with Andamio. And then I think that can even like serve as like a. We can just like springboard that directly into like a question of like, okay, well, like we can have that as like a discovery for if we need like, like a big UI change, or if we don't need any UI change at all, like we can like test that with the Andamio team. Sorry, Christian.
Yeah, sorry, just got my son to finally sleep. I was going to say too, it comes down to the scope too on whether how much do you want to automate, because the Intersect concern, obviously doing 50 single payments was their main issue, but they also have their CYA on delivery milestones and checking that work was done. So if we offboard that to a platform that can auto verify and stuff, it's more of a win. And I do like giving cadence to supporting Cardano projects, and if we're going to use any of the tools that are available, it's a +1 for me, even though I don't have voting power. So,
but I continue to say that we can't vote on whether or not something should be used without having context for what it's usable for, and we can't vote on. So we need someone to come and say, this is why we want to use this. This is why it's worthwhile to pay for any licensing if there is that. Because it will help in this, and this way. We've been asked to make a decision without being given a full presentation of why to make that decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in that case we will put this off for the time being and like have next steps be to schedule that meeting. So we will get that. Actually, I think it would be best if Tex, could you get in contact with or Christian, anyone from the OSO, anyone who is like having those conversations with Intersect, by the way, like just specifically Christian.
yeah, I'll let Tex schedule it. The thing was, we did ask the Adamio staff to join to answer any questions. I just want to give them that honor so we didn't waste their time per se for a future meeting.
Oh, okay. So we want to. Are they in right now? Is that Andrew Aitken?
Yeah, James.
No.
James.
Nope.
Oh,
Hey,
James.
everybody, nice to meet you.
Yeah, Cyril
Okay.
here.
Yes. Yeah. Please, floor is yours.
Okay, well, so hey, everybody, my name is James, one of the co-founders along with Sebastian from Andamio team. I spoke to Georg and Terrence last week a couple times just to align on things. So yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect today. But I can start in with your questions. For the scope that we talked about in the short time frame, we wouldn't have to make any changes to our platform. You'd be able to use it as is. And we would value that feedback. This is something that we want to grow up alongside of partners like the OSC. In the long run, our application won't be a walled garden. So if at any time Intersect wanted to build an independent application to serve the best use cases for what this tech can do, that option is always open. There's many different pathways to that option, but we don't have to decide any of them now. Based on the conversations last week, we wanted to run a pilot with, it sounds like, up to 50 maintainer as maintainer retainer program. I don't know, what do we call those? The maintainers. And
we're still debating it.
Okay.
Like even the name,
up
it's just the whole
to
thing.
10 facilitators. So there's no platform fees for this. The only fees would be on chain for this level of usage. There is a cost of approximately 8 ADA for every person who onboards to Andamio for the first time. And that's a lifetime fee. If they ever use the access token that is granted, they can use it across many different applications. So there's that upfront cost. I do think if there's a budget for this work, that's a really nice cost for Intersect to cover, to onboard those maintainers. And we have a system for that as well. Then to place the project and the course that serves as its prerequisite on chain costs a total of 250 ADA. That's also a one-time fee for just registering the course and project as a combination, okay? If you don't want any prerequisites, there's nothing to teach people about how to be part of this program. It's just 150 ADA to register the project only on chain. But if you want that kind of gatekeeping, have people check a few boxes or show you what they've done in the past as an open source contributor, you can use a course to kind of gate the onboarding process and have a really nice auditable record of how you onboarded who to the project. I was really glad that Johnny said if we just need a payment solution, he would have objections, because as an Intersect member, I would too. There are much better tools if the only goal is to distribute tokens to a bunch of people as efficiently as possible. But if the goal has anything to do with creating an auditable trail, Andamio will be the most efficient way to do that. So I think that's really for the Intersect team to decide. What we've done is we've built this up as a way of working, recognizing that we want just the right amount of auditability, right? We're not going to place the full text of the commitment or the report that somebody wrote on chain. As Georg already mentioned, we would just hash that, and that's something that people can then validate against off-chain data anytime. And we can lock down who has access to that off-chain data if needed. So the real goals, as I understand it, are yes, efficiency, but it's efficiency in getting to a nice level of on-chain auditability that I do think would fit your need. And if we need to make changes, that's something that we're very interested in doing if this turns into more of a partnership.
Fantastic, thank you. Georg?
One possible integration after this pilot. So after the pilot, we were discussing, and James, correct me, that there would be a platform fee of about 1% for all transactions paid out from the platform. So that would come after the pilot. And then for possible integrations to automate the verification of work done, is we could integrate with the Bitergia platform, pull in data like this person did this many commits and pull requests and issues and was active over this period of time, so that we consolidate all that data in one place as we verify someone's participation and approve the payment. So that is all future ideas, what is possible here.
Yeah, and imagine Intersect leading the drive to build an integration team that can deliver that application. And now you have a nice homegrown application, a nice story to celebrate about how you're pulling together these different tools. I think there's a really nice story you could tell. And yeah, as Georg said, there's the 1% commission on completed work that will be going live in January, right? We're getting up and running. We do need a revenue model. But if that turned into a sticking point, that's something that we can negotiate later as well.
Okay, thank you. That's extremely valuable information. I will ask that we do still schedule like a follow-up with the Intersect team, just to make sure that like they are also like on board with this, because part of the whole like appeal is like getting it like used for more stuff than, you know, just necessarily like the MRP program. But yeah, looks very promising, like thus far, in my
Right.
opinion.
When we
Donovan?
schedule that meeting, can you all be sure to share a written agenda in advance? I really, we need to, because there's been a lot of conversations, and I need a little bit more clarity about what we're building towards.
This is exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
The thing that is required here is proper communication between all sides in the decision-making process and the building of the thing itself, so that we know what the scope is. And one thing I would appreciate being on that agenda, if there is a meeting, is a demonstration. So like maybe there could be some pre-collaboration just to come up with an example of how it could be used for a specific purpose, like just a workflow. Because if we can see it in a demo, then we can get a better idea of how useful it is, right? But that requires that communication. So it requires the team working with the Endamio folk and then working out what a good demo would be, and then the demo being brought to the committee.
I mean, I'm ready for that demo.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't doubt you are, James. I don't doubt you are, but it always comes down to communication, doesn't it? Like there's just the asynchronous nature of things can lead to things being left for longer periods of time, and that's why I'm trying to gee it up here and say, come on, let's get it done. Let's get a nice demo made.
Good deal. All right, so we'll resolve to meet again.
And it's not your fault, James. It's the fault of communications.
All right.
Yeah. In fact, we can probably just turn like any like talks about this into like a group chat with Intersect about this to help coordinate this. And you know, yeah, we'll get that. All right. Cool. Next thing up is like I wanted Haroon, what was this AdaDev tool that you mentioned? Is this like something that would be like
It
relevant
doesn't look
for
like
this type of
cool.
thing?
It looks more like a website in general of like educational resources. But go ahead, Haroon.
Yeah. I just saw someone post it on LinkedIn, and I wanted to ask if you guys have heard of it. They say that it delivers Cardano development activity tracking, developer resources for developers new to Cardano, and tailored development plans with curated resource recommendations. But then looking at it, it looks like something that is still in development, so it might not be as relevant right now.
Yeah. That's very interesting though. I'm just cursory, like, yeah, I don't think it's relevant to the previous thing, but it does look very like interesting. I think we might want to skip out on it for now because we're running low on time, but I do want to like file this away on like related to the I remember that like we had like a specific thing of a specific drive to get people to be more aware of Cardano like tooling and like the like open source projects and stuff like that. So I want to come back to that. Okay, so we can probably move on for now then from this. And we can go on to comms for committee elections. So committee elections, I think, just opened like a day ago. And we wanted to discuss the strategy, like for like how we're going to get people to like engage with that. Presumably the like X spaces and stuff. Tex, could you speak more on this? Is Tex here? Tex
I
might
think
not
he
be.
had to drop out.
Yes.
But essentially, we could do different types of X spaces. We do want some in Intersect that we can put up. I already did do an X post yesterday. If everyone wouldn't mind resharing that, I got Tim Harrison to assist. And then we also have the open source office hours that we can utilize, and even try to do some X spaces in other partner platforms. So
Partner platforms?
yeah, it doesn't have to be Intersect owned if someone else wants to host it under their banner. Different names get different audiences, essentially.
Oh, like having somebody like repost the thing?
Not repost it, but even host an X space.
Oh, like a third party like person
Yeah.
hosting like an X space or Do people still use that that app that was called it was like X Spaces but before X Spaces, like it's a feature that inspired it, like Clubhouse or whatever, Treehouse, something like that?
I think
I
you're right
never
with
used it.
I think you're right with Clubhouse, but it's a very different platform there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's probably not used much by the Cardano community. I would say it was the inspiration for the X creation of spaces. You're right there.
Okay. All right. Well, never mind that platform, but okay. So, sorry, everyone. My laundry's hanging up over there.
We might also be able to utilize. I know for what they do at the town halls, they do like StreamYard. So anyone, the nominations go through right now, but when we actually get into the elections, maybe we could also do like it connects live stream to multiple platforms like YouTube and other things. So if we do a panel talk or something like that, we could utilize it. Unless there's a more standard approach. Text, we're talking about item number 2, now that you're back.
Yeah, sorry, thanks. I would just want to clarify that there's not an open subscription that we would have access to StreamYard wise. We'd have to involve some others from Intersect, and it wouldn't connect directly to our channels as I understand it. But we can look into that if that's the desired route. Previously, we held to suggest some additional Google Meets about open source committee. That seemed to work pretty well. And a lot of that was based around the subset election that we did in September last year. But again, that worked pretty well, and some of that carried over into the October election. And if I remember correctly, open source was kind of like the only one to fully get it done. Yeah, sorry, I don't know where we left off there. I'm happy to answer more questions if there are any.
Yeah, I'll just let Jonathan speak first.
I speak too much on these meetings, but yes, hello. Yeah, one thing you could do that I know the Cardano Foundation do a regular roundtable talk video on different topics, right? So maybe a focused one on the elections might be a worthwhile endeavor. Marcus would be part of arranging that. Marcus, who's on the technical steering committee at the moment. So reach out to him and see if that's possible or desired.
I'm sure he'd be happy to help. I've talked with him in the past about our stuff.
And sorry, which call was that?
Marcus Golfer.
No, I know Marcus, the call.
Yeah. It's called the Roundtable Talk, and it's done by Cardano Foundation, and it's usually on a very specific topic. So, like, they've done their calculator tool is one example, and I was on that one. They've done upcoming features that are going to be developed for Cardano, that kind of thing. So if they did one specifically on the election process of Intersect, that might be a nice specific topic for them to cover for 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. So then I guess there are and to recap, especially because Tex wasn't here, we have the X Spaces, of course. We can hopefully see if we can get StreamYard to broadcast to more platforms, but there's no guarantee about if we can actually get that to work properly. Yes, get everyone to draft X posts independently of just retweeting. Then there is also the sorry, I don't remember if I already mentioned this, but there is the Cardano Roundtable approach. And I think that was an instance of the thing that Christian suggested of getting other people to boost this, right? So I think we can just leave it at those 4 for now.
They have another one.
Oh, you have another one?
Well, I don't know if it's still running. I haven't watched it in a while, but Space Place used to do a more sardonic sort of conversational, but a little bit cynical, but still fun. Regular show once a week. So if Space Place is still going, it might be a place to be more relaxed about talking about the thing.
Okay. Sure. Space Place and
you would reach
Cardano
out to
Roundtable.
Yeah, you might reach out to Kyle there, Adafrog, because he would be a part of that and be able to set you up with the right connections. It's not run by him, but yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Anything else we wanted to mention about this? If not, I will move on to the MRP like comms, which are probably going to be almost the same. Okay. So for the MRP program, because we haven't gotten like a ton of individual applications, but they're starting to trickle in now. So like, you know, I guess we're at like a medium level of like how much we have to pay attention to like boosting this more. I guess if we could have for the time being, I think it's probably sufficient if we just have everybody like post about it. I don't think yeah, I don't think that there's anything else we have to do about it besides just post about it. But I just remembered, like, should have said this a second ago. Do we still want to do a Google Meet for like bumping the like committee elections in conjunction with this whole programming that we have set up?
If I understand what you're asking for the rest of the committee to attest whether or not they'd be open to like some type of open office hour format, right?
For the committee elections, yeah. How do we feel about this? It is kind of a big like time involvement to get like everybody like doing that, but if it's useful.
I could attend, yeah, if it's scheduled and notified in advance, which is how most things are.
Georg?
We could also divide and conquer to offer more opportunities for potential candidates to talk with someone. We could schedule, if each of us takes half an hour throughout the week, then we can cover every day, every couple hours. There could be someone available, and each of us, it's only half an hour commitment at that point. And if no one, then we just continue working on something else.
I like that idea a little bit more, yeah. Especially because then we can cover more time zones easily, more like you know, regions and stuff. So I think we should have that as the fifth like thing, especially because we don't have to like commit like a huge amount of like people's time. And I'll probably be not probably, I'll of course be doing that. We just got to figure out how to like schedule that. Maybe we can just have like a Calendly like posted text.
Yeah, just wanted to note anything that's going on for committee elections, the application period closes on the 14th at noon UTC. So that leaves us 7 working days to not including weekends. I mean, obviously people can apply over the weekend, but just for awareness that there is not a ton of time to do huge marketing for the elections there. So that needs to go out first, and then everything else can be secondary. If your event is if you're going to something and that's going to happen beyond that application deadline, there may not be much of a point other than if there's good candidates and we need to encourage people to vote for the right people. So just want to clarify the details there as needed.
Yeah, that might be an issue for the Cardano roundtable and stuff. Yeah, Georg?
For hosting individual office hours, one approach to organize this on a short time frame so that we, to Tech's point, can get this done by next week is today or after this call, we can have a poll, not a poll feature poll, but there's just a question, hey, what time would you be available? And everyone posts 1 or 2 times that they would like to host office hours based on their own schedule. And then we promote this through our channels. Each individual committee member that is hosting, of course, can, hey, I'm hosting this. And then through the official open source office, it can be, hey, these are the upcoming office hours. If you're interested in serving on the committee, feel free to meet the people. And I don't know if we want to have one centrally organized Google Meet or if everyone offers a different platform. That I don't know what if there's any preference for setting that up.
I think
I'll second
one-
that just very quickly there. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna second or push the just if you're a committee member, go and drop your time in the channel. Like whether it's a specific, hey, I can do this hour, or you can give me a block of 2 or 3 hours. Because we've got to work in a very fast environment, just go drop it in there. I, as the secretary, will go through and figure it out. Don't worry so much about that. I think it's more time to get a tool out there and then to go back through that and then to push everyone to respond. So if you're available and you're willing to participate in that type of event, just drop your times and then I'll get something set up. And it'll
Awesome.
probably be Google Meet. So
Thank you for taking over the administrative side, Tex. Much
you.
appreciated.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so then, yes, back to MRP. We probably won't do the whole 5-prong like thing for like MRP necessarily, but we do need for everybody to post a tweet about that. And also we need everybody to bump the tweet text. Could you send the? I think you tweeted about this already. Could you like send that in chat? Or oh, I think you're muted.
MRP.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know that I had a post explicitly from the OSA account. I think this is going to be the same one as Christian shared above.
Okay.
So
Cool. All right.
But we can write our own post for OSC. So I'm going to
Yeah.
go all the way back up to the message I posted a half hour. Drop the X post. It's the easiest thing to do. And then as long as there's no, I mean, the X post is really going to be lazy consensus. If nobody's hating on it, I'm just going to push it out. We push out enough content. We've got a decent amount of followers, but we need more, and that requires posting. So.
Okay. Cool. Fantastic. All right then.
Sorry. Speaking about writing your own posts as well and not just retweeting, there's an example in chat here. This one was so far got 1,124 views. Now, it's interesting because the reason it has that is because Shaggy Rax got involved and retweeted it, but he's presented it as a different angle. He's presented it as jobs on Cardano. So I've had to go underneath and say, well, these are not actually jobs; these are stipended positions. So, yeah, a little bit of a mishap there. I posted it. I asked for support in getting it out there, and then it was slightly skewed in its presentation of what it is. But luckily, like my post itself highlights the reality, links to the definition of a community maintainer, and links to the forum, so people will get the right impression. But unfortunately, Shaggy Rax is out there going on spaces, going like, "Get jobs on Cardano," which isn't technically correct in this case.
Easy way to make $200,000 from home if you're over 40 on a laptop or whatever.
I mean, it's just marketing. Marketing always slightly misrepresents the reality in order to get people interested, right? So this is why I don't like marketing as a general rule. But anyway, never mind.
Okay. Then yeah, I think then if nobody has any objections, I'll just give you like time to like down vote if you have an objection. But if nobody has any objections, we will move on quickly to the structure for the interview cycle for MRP. Any? Okay. Yes. Okay, so we wanted to we need to figure out how we're going to actually structure because we have our interviews, we have our interview material and stuff. There was there another thing that you said, another document that you suggested, Tex, that we compose for the interviews, or was it just a matter of okay, well, we need to get the flow set up with the actual
It may do well to have another document. I don't know if I would go recreating. Well, I guess we might have to just create from scratch. But where is the documented version of how we plan to run these interviews? Are we copying what we did for developer advocates? But where is that step by step? Developer advocates was kind of a how do you call it? There was a lot of assistance in that. I'd done it previous. There wasn't a lot of committee work that went into that other than to say, no, this process looks good, looks like it works. And then obviously you all were participative in that. So now that you participate in what that interview process looks like, how do we want to go about interviewing these maintainers? And it's a little bit about telling me exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Send this in this email when you invite XYZ candidate to a meeting, to the interview. Okay, great. Give them this detail. Don't give them this detail. Great. That I will help as much as I can, but at the same time, it's a committee-owned item. So I'm going to push back to you guys to give me that data. And
yeah. I can put together the initial draft of that document anyways, like, because like, you know, like I wrote the interview questions, so like I already have an image of like how this is going to work in my head, but yeah, I guess we need to get it all down on writing. So I'll get that back soon. I can probably do either Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, the one thing that I do think that we need to like, well, I guess we'll do that. We can do, because it'll be relatively soon. We can do this after we like put together the like document, because this is kind of like a specific thing that will have to be included in the document, but we'll have to like schedule we'll have to get like a Calendly from all of the like people, all of the organizations that are like looking for maintainers, because we'll need to schedule like both of those interviews like at once to make things like smooth for the candidate and stuff. I'll include this in the document. Sorry, Tex?
yes. We might be better off to just push them to communicate with us in our open Discord channel, because the last thing I want a program to do or a project to do is they apply and we put them on the form and everything's all good to go, and then they don't hear from us for 6 months because nobody that applied to the maintainer retainer program wanted to support their repo. Then we're holding open access to their stuff when we don't need it. So I guess I'm suggesting the opposite, although that would be good information to have. There's a risk of losing or misplacing that information, right? If there's not a proper structure with it. And it's likely because things change throughout the year and these are developers and team leads, we're probably just going to have to approach them directly to say, hey, we've got to do an interview. What time works for you over the next 3 days? What time works for you over the next 5 business days? That's with those. That's how we're going to have to do that.
Okay, that sounds good. Do we want
to prescribe a process to ask the candidate when they're available? I mean, we can do that as well, or we can just send it through and say, here's attempt number 1, attempt number 2, attempt number 3, and if they can't attend the 3rd interview without giving us more information, then we move on. But again, you all prescribe that. I can't drop the hammer here.
Okay, yeah, I'll get that written up then. But just to be clear, your preference is that we do like ad hoc scheduling for like the second like interview with the like organizations.
Correct.
Okay. All right, that's good to know, because I would not have done it that way if like on first thought. So good.
And likely what we can do is we can just have those project leads schedule on my calendar, and then I can just change the event and invite everybody. So.
Okay. Let's change the.
Essentially, as a program administrator, I have to be involved, right, in most of the processes here, unless you all prescribe otherwise. So there's that aspect where my calendar becomes a central calendar for everybody to rely upon, and it's not about when everyone else is available, because they can just come and see when we got it. And I can adjust and open up my availability as needed based on, again, what we prescribe or find out as needed. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Yeah, I'll interrupt Jonathan Kelly. Just one quick thing. Like also like if just in like a yes or no like question thing, do you think it's like it would be useful to like open up like a Discord like channel at all, like for like to just dump everybody, or like a group chat to just dump all the maintainers in, or do you think it's just better to like one-on-one, like truly one-on-one DM?
The applicants?
No, the orgs.
Oh, I wouldn't create anything new. We have a general channel. Come and find us here. And that's, I mean, there's some different encouragement. Either you're going to get individual contributors that are going to come over because they're members or they're associates, or you get an opportunity where that person says, no, we're applying to the open source office program or open source committee program or whatever. Yeah, let's become an enterprise member of Intersect. There's that whole other side of this here that says they should come and meet us where we're trying to drive the community. I haven't seen an outright cry that says Intersect, stop using Discord for members to connect. Right? If that is the case, if that is what comes out, then maybe we're going to have to take a look at that. But it's not yet. So we have the channel, we have general open source committee, and if somebody needs to reach the open source committee, they should be a member and or registered with Intersect, and they should come to the Discord channel, or they should send an email to open source committee at intersectmbo.com or org. Sorry,
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Jonathan Kelly.
Yeah, just quickly. Tex said earlier, like, as long as people want me to continue to act in that role. I just want to say you've done a very good job, Tex. You're good at organizing things and getting stuff set up. I don't think it would be something I would put forward to replace you as being a good nexus point for everything. Don't worry.
Cool. Okay. And two more things, and the last thing is going to be
I can just knock it out right now if you want. It's super quick.
but the last one, or like the
last one, yeah, because the other one let the conversation flow. This is just an open call out for those of you that are here for the next 4 to 6 weeks, which we do hope that you stay another 2 weeks or so. Please help onboard the new committee members when they get here, if you are not reapplying. But if you're a committee member, if we are running an async vote, the async vote still needs to meet a quorum decision. That means that there needs to be in total a quorum number of voters. However, the decision itself also needs to be quorum on what's decided. So if there are, I think that what it is right now is 8 committee members, then we need 5 or more votes for one way or the other, right? 5 or more votes for that to qualify as this was the decision made. If it's 4, there's 8 members at deadlocks, right? The point with async voting, we need at least 5 votes in the same direction. And if we don't get to there yet, if we're at 3 and 4 or something like that, that's where we need all active members of the committee to go in there and participate in async voting. So it's if we're going to do the voting that way, that's how we need to do it. Otherwise, we'll work with the quorum that we have on the call. If you guys want to keep decision-making flowing as fast as it has been, right, we really need to get tight on this, because at the end of the day, I do have to document things like this and go back to it. And these are coming up as being directly referenced, not necessarily in the contract that everyone sees, but there's a file for it. So just want to demonstrate the importance there. And if you guys have questions, please let me know.
Thank you. Cool. Sorry, Jonathan Kelly asked about a link to the project application form for MRP.
I was trying to do it silently and stuff, but yeah, I'm just replying to someone who said what projects are a part of the maintainer retainer program on X Twitter. And I would like that link. I've tried to look for it on Gitbook, but I can't easily find the link for project applications. Now, maybe that's just a feeling on my part in navigating a website. But if I can get the link right now, I can make this tweet. Sorry.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Then moving on, we can finalize stuff, and I think we'll be able to finish on time today, thankfully. Sorry about previous overruns, but I wanted to talk about the workflow for submissions for the TSP program. So we have that whole tool, and we've decided on using it after addressing concerns and stuff. And it seems very promising. I wanted to discuss the actual workflow that we're going to use for this, because I think that's kind of important. I think, and maybe we should even, now that we're talking about putting these things into documents, I think I should write up a document for this also, and I think I will. But I wanted to present my idea for a process, and then if there's any dissenting opinions or advice or anything, we should discuss that. So my idea for this is quite simple, and we don't involve any complicated tooling. I think there was some discussion of that previously, but I'm personally quite against making it very involved. I think it should be 2 steps basically. Step 1, we just have the tool, you can download it, attest to yourself, prepare your submission in a form via email or Google form or whatever. And then 2, before we actually accept people into the program, we rerun the tool on their account and their repo, and make sure, just very simply make sure is this the same PDF? They didn't mess with it and get creative or whatever. At least to me, it seems we can address all of the concerns about tampering and stuff relatively simply that. And we don't have to have a more complex setup. How does the committee feel about this?
I'm in support. We were gonna have to do it anyway, so
yeah. Okay. Cool. So so I'll get a document up with that probably around the same time as the other document on the schedule for the interview, or the whole process for the interview cycle. Maybe a little later. Yeah. Any objections to that? Any comments and stuff? It's fine if you guys don't have anything to say about it, because I think, in my opinion, it's straightforward in my head. So but okay, cool. Yes, Christian.
I had a different topic to bring up as well, if we have time for it.
Yeah, we got 7 minutes. 6.
Okay. So something else that I think the OSC should lead the initiative. Me and Tex is the one who brought it up, and it's something I've been on the periphery of, is trying to come up with an AI policy related to GitHub interactions and things like that. Merge coding, just from a security perspective. I did bring it up with the Security Council too, and they're willing to work with other interested parties. But I did want to bring that up as something that I think we should start carving out to get ahead of the curve before it becomes a proliferation into how all these different aspects are being coming in. So
who is this document? Who would this document be relevant for? Who's following it? What does it apply to? And then I'll pass it to.
It applies to the usage of AI tooling related to core Cardano projects and/or anything under Intersect's remit. And I mean, you could apply this to vibe coding, to auto bots, applying code reviews. There's another one in Catalyst going through right now that is for vulnerability scanning. So there, I mean, AI is becoming in every single piece. I think we just need some guardrails to show how we do the workflow. I don't know if we can actually, if he's willing to. I've been working with Andrew Aiken. He's the previous chief open source officer for the Hedera blockchain, and is now an AI guru. So I wanted to get his thoughts on something like that, if he's open to speak to it.
Thanks, Christian. Guru may be a little bit too strong a term, but I'm happy to help on this. Need to understand a little bit more about what the functions are that we want to address. Have you thought through? Is there a workflow or process document of any kind
Not yet. Basically, the only thing we followed is kind of the to-do group's working Slack channel on their integration with business needs. But I think you've been watching the topic more than I have. If you kind of know general areas we should be aware of, kind of.
I do probably whoever is kind of the core expert on the processes that you want to address here, I would probably want to spend a little bit of time with. But yeah, this is something that I definitely spend time on. In fact, there's an app that I'm looking at building that would reside on Cardano, on the supply chain feature that Cardano rolled out about 6 months ago to help provide decentralized AI trust layer. So yeah, this is something I've been looking at.
Cool. Would it be worthwhile to set up a working group on it then? Just to get, at least have the OSC initiate that if y'all see the interest in it, just so we can address the various pain points potentially.
Sorry. Yeah, what was that question? I just splashed some water on my computer from like the condensation, so a little bit frazzled. I think it's fine though. But did you say that you wanted like to get the OSC's interest in like getting this document like created? Because like at least me personally, I'm very, very much in favor of this. Yeah, I think especially like prompt injection like attacks are going to, I don't know, just become a huge problem.
Well, and I think even the bug bounty is going to be spammed quite a bit once the announcement goes live. So, but essentially, if we want to address the topic, we just need to spin up a working group, and I can work on a charter. I just need the OSC blessing for that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in favor of it. I didn't know we could do ad hoc working groups, but I guess I'd never considered that, you know, that's not like possible, you know. It's like a dog can play basketball.
Well, the working groups are meant to serve to a means to an end. Like the tooling working group, once we get past a certain level of effort, they should disband until the program gets responsored. Just like the hard fork working group spun up for Plowman and then went away, and now it's coming back because of the new releases coming up. But I think we need something towards AI policy in general.
Yeah.
And I think the OSC is the best pioneer for that with
Yes.
other collaborators.
Very, very much agree. Thank you for raising this. And I want to apologize to like Mr. Aitken. I'm so sorry. I did not realize that like we had you on this like whole 1 hour call just to get you to speak at the end. I think next time if there's anybody, like I'm going to check at the start, like if we have any like anybody who needs to, who's a guest, that we can have people talk like at first, because I don't want to keep doing that to people. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, Elaine, no worries. I'm relatively new to this ecosystem and community, so I'm here also just learning. Yep.
Okay. Thanks everyone. We are just on time, thankfully. So I'm gonna go hold my laptop upside down. Stay safe, everyone. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Okay. Have a good day. Luck.
Yep.